Hey man, welcome back to the Friends Podcast, man. Thank you for joining us here once again. And if it's your first time, man, thank you for coming and listening to what we got to say, man. So, welcome. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Matt, and am here with my co-host.
This is Rod back with another one at the Friends Podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe and tune in. We're across all streaming services, so Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify, iHeart, anywhere you can name it. So check us out.
Yeah, man, most definitely. And hopefully you guys heard part one. We'll go ahead and label that as part one and part two. But this one is part two. We just kind of want to get into some different topics that's kind of related to part
For
one, but
sure.
we kind of wanted to split it up just to kind of see what it would do like that. So let's see, what do we get into? What do we talk about?
So in the first part, if you tuned in, we talked more about Russia and Ukraine and what's going on there, the Brittany Griner situation, Joe Rogan. So in this episode here, we're talking more or less about black people aren't monolithic, and is that a problem to progression, and do we need to unify? Also, we discuss the black community and some instances in our own lives that happen. Like you'll listen in and you'll tune in about the paint and sip story. So
Yeah, y'all definitely gonna hear that, man. So thank you for tuning in once again, and that's the next thing y'all about to hear. Out.
all right, so going into the next question we got here, I feel like this is one of those things where it's a crab in the barrel kind of mentality, where I don't believe that black people typically unite into one, like someone like the other cultures and things of that nature. So this question is, do black people not unite because it's always a hater that's like, why is it not him? Why is it got to be this guy who represents us? And we're so focused on that we're not like looking at the big picture of someone who can just lead us and have generally most of the things that most of us will like. So
Do we need a leader though? I feel like nobody has a leader. Like no other race, ethnicity, whatever has a leader. Like, do we need somebody that's like, oh, we look to him as the example, or like, I feel like everybody don't have a leader, so why do we seek one?
that's kind of like leads into is like black people aren't monolithic, which is I feel like that's a typical debate amongst people. Like we're of course we're not monolithic. We don't all
Right.
have the same
It
ideas,
ain't no
and
debate.
and that's like I in a way I feel like that's a problem to our progression. I feel like yes, we don't all like have the same ideas and the thoughts on everything. But if the majority feel away, then things should be written down. And as long as the majority feel it, it's like we can't always count like just a small specific group that has like a counteractive point of view, because I feel like whenever it's Fox News or anything like that, you get your Candace Owens and things of that nature who they have like their view is a small percentage of the black community,
Facts.
and that's what's like very highly highlighted a lot of the times. And I feel like that's more or less to confuse our population and to they try to lead us to a specific idea, like the US or the government. I feel like throughout history it's like you can imagine, like, I mean, this is theory. I'm not gonna say this is fact or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
When there was the crack era and stuff like that, a lot of people have the thought that black people didn't have access to cocaine and everything, and like, where does this shit come from? And that it most likely did come from the government and things of that nature.
I thought they proved that.
Maybe someone did. I'm not gonna say it personally, but I mean that's kind of what I believe, and we see that from some of the shows like Snowfall. And
Based on a true story.
yeah, and like some of the things that like Joe Biden like has been a part of and things of that nature, where
Crime bill.
yeah, the crime bill, as well as like giving crack pipes to the neighborhoods and things of that nature, which is what I heard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's recent.
it does seem like something that the government or some other entity was a part of, because it wasn't something that we have access to, because these drugs come from overseas. Like, a lot of our community wasn't overseas making deals and bringing it over. I don't believe so.
No.
Maybe if we was, maybe it was a little bit later on into the whole thing. But anyways, like, getting back to the point, like, I think I'm getting a little bit off the point, but
No, but let me speak on that though, because I mean, you want to talk about control. Like this society and the government has been trying to control Black lives since people was enslaved, because they wanted to control whether we read, whether we could write, whether we could be free. Like, they've been trying to control. So it's like, I feel like it's just transformed into, okay, we can't, y'all can read and write now, but now we gonna put this in your neighborhood. We gonna put these images up. We gonna do that. I feel like that's how it kind of transformed. So it's like, people say shit changed, but I feel like shit transformed more than changed. You know what I mean?
right, things do evolve and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But okay, so speaking of like that, I'm gonna bring up this another thing. So the Tulsa, what happened there?
Yep.
When there was thriving Black communities and everything going on, and we were starting to have a lot of businesses, and the money was being passed hand to hand between our community.
He was creating wealth.
Yeah, and it was before we really dived into the segregation. So we all kind of, like, if you look up the story, you can go and do a quick Google search, and they even have documentaries.
And Tulsa ain't the only one either.
Yeah, where the police and white folks came in and they burnt down the entire city and everything, the businesses and everything we got going on. They kind of just rioted in our city and broke everything down, just merely off the fact that it was hate, and they didn't like that a thriving Black community was happening and they weren't involved in the picture.
Right.
So after the fact, like, if you look at today and how things happen after that, a majority of the things that Black people typically champion are white owned. And when I say that, I'm talking about things that we wear, the jewelry, like all those kind of things. We're not investing in land in our neighborhoods like as we should. We're investing into materialistic things, and that's the things that are typically highlighted whenever it comes to our community. It's always entertainment. It's never the engineers, the doctors, the scientists of our community, the people who invented things. And so many times, like 9 times out of 10, like, our ideas were stolen in the past. So today, this is why I feel like it's I'm getting back to the point. The idea that Black people aren't monolithic and a problem to progression, I feel like that's very much a problem, that we don't have a organization that champions just our people in general that we can go to.
What about the NAACP?
Yeah, we have them and everything, and I mean, I feel like I've been, like, I'm Black in America and everything. And when I think about what that organization has done for me, being a black person here, I can't recall anything specific that they done particularly for me. Or like they're not sending checks to people of our community, or like a lot of times in our communities, they're still struggling with just proper education tools and good food and farms and things of that nature, just basic utility things that help from the ground up.
Yeah.
Maybe because they don't have the resources, and everybody are not, like, specifically. I think maybe we should have like an organization where Black people pay a fee to this specific organization every month. Like if all the black people spent the fee and they put in this organization, they pay fees or dues, then they'll probably be able to do more. And that's kind of the thing where, all right, so I'm gonna lead this to the Black Lives Matter
Okay.
and how when the cops was abusing us and some person from who knows where created this organization. And then now when we look at it, it's like stories that came out of the person who created, like there was a black lady who started this and everything. And she has like a bunch of homes and residential places of her own. And people are now questioning how did she end up with all this property and where was the money spent and where did it go?
Right.
And then like now there's a bunch of people who was ahead of the Black Lives Matter, that organization, who now like stepped down and left it.
I saw that. Yeah.
Like, how did you leave a black organization that was for the people and everything, and that's what it was meant for?
Because it wasn't for the people.
Exactly. So it's just like people created things that were for their own wealth, and people like all like you hear about everyone invested into this thing that was like a hashtag, and it was like, in my opinion, I feel like Black Lives Matter was a complete scam. It wasn't what it was meant to or intended to be.
Okay.
Like, and I feel like that's the thing, like amongst our community, we gotta hold people accountable. When we see fuck shit, we gotta point it out, and we gotta hold the people accountable and take action. Like, we can't just be like, there's always a devil advocate like, well, they did do this, they did do that. No, it's like, if this is something specific that like a worldwide thing where everybody's looking at it, and there are a bunch of different races who are investing in this. I mean, it's not just with the Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. There's the Red Cross and everything. Like, there's always an issue when money's sent to one area. Where is the money going and where is it being spent?
Right.
It's like everybody always create these organizations where it seems it's only for like self purposes, where they're trying to get themselves out of a situation and get themselves up, and then they'll help people.
Right. And then they might not even do that when they get to where they want to be.
Yeah, and it's like, that's not the purpose of it. When you're creating these organizations that are nonprofit, it's called nonprofit for a reason. Like, it's not meant for you to have a profit like that. Like, the money that people are sending is for the people. It's a nonprofit. Like, it's for helping people. This is not your business. It's not your entity. Like, the focus shouldn't be them. It should be the people. And I feel like that's a very like an irritating thing that just like typically happens. Like, there's always like people want to be like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times there's so many organizations as well. Like, everybody wants to create their own and create like this foundation under my name or blah blah blah. I don't understand that, and that makes zero sense to me.
I mean, to me, I don't depend. For me, I mean, I'm good right now just because I was. I don't know. I feel like right now I don't look to an organization for help. So me, I don't need that. I don't even care. Like, I never really cared about. I care about the words Black Lives Matter, but I never really cared about the organization because one, you don't know their intentions, and two, shit like this happen all the time. So it's like, it's not exclusive to the black community. People do shit with nonprofits all the time and then take the bread. Like, this happens across culture. So for me, I feel like the best thing we could do is continue to just do what we do in our own, because the thing is, like, people, I kind of related to this. Like, people be like, oh, who we gonna vote for the president? Who's gonna be the president? But it's just like, I feel like it's more important the people that are voted in around your community, because that's where you live at. So I feel like if people into their community and make sure hold people in their community accountable, then that is what it is. Like I feel like we shouldn't fuck an organization. Like that's not what I'm looking to for anything. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it. Like period. So I don't know. I just don't. I never view Black Lives Matter, the organization, as something that I needed or something that the country needed. I do think that people needed to hear those words and understand those words and actually take it in, and then realize that, hey, maybe I've been treating black people, or maybe I haven't been trying to understand black people. Maybe I haven't been trying to learn or trying to like treat them as humans. And I feel like people need to hear the words, but the organization is not, is not something that I'd be like, yeah, like that organization is the shit, because they stand for something. The message is good, but behind the scenes, you never know what might be going on. And I don't want to speak on something that might have went on that didn't go on, but you never know what's going on with these people. You never know what people's real intentions are.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. And I was reading this article here.
Uh huh.
The median wealth of Black Americans will fall to zero by 2053. And this is a post. This is an article from The Guardian.
Okay.
So
We already low right now.
yes, exactly. And here it is. Like they even have charts and everything showing pretty much where we're heading.
And I think the black woman is the lowest too. And that's the crazy thing.
Yeah, and then one of the Black women is the most educated when it
Yeah.
comes to that. So
Yeah.
it says by 2020, median Black and Latino households stand to lose nearly 18% and 12% of the wealth they held in 2013, respectively, while median white households will increase, their wealth will increase by 3%, the report states. So it's just like it's a constant decline. And like I'm looking at this chart here, and the median of white households is ridiculously, like the gap between white households and everyone else. So like I hear what you're saying when you're speaking about, oh, like I'm thinking about myself
Right. No. 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 Yeah. Go ahead.
and like what I should be doing, and this is what I should be doing. But I feel like that's more or less the problem, is
I
because
know. Yeah. Yeah.
Black people is very like that's my monolithic kind of ideas, where like I feel like that's hurting us, and why we need to like.
Is that hurting us or is something else hurting us? Like I feel like it's not. What can I do to make people respect us and pay us what they owe? What can I do? What can anybody do? They just gotta want to do that. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing that all we can do is stay black and die. Like that's really it. Like how can we?
That's not all we can do though. This is what I mean. We can invest in ourselves.
Okay, but people need to get on board with that, and I need people to get on board with that.
Exactly.
But if people don't want to get on board with that, what
And
can
that's
I do?
because it's like I feel like it has a lot to do with like education. When like I mean I grew up in it as well. When I was in school and everything like that, what's typically taught of and what's consistently battered down is World War One, World War Two, the Jewish people, the Holocaust, the economics of just how America and the presidents and how everything, like how they governed, and just understanding how the government worked. That there's three spaces, where it's judicial,
Legislative,
legislative, and yeah, like the
executive.
policing, yeah, executive and everything. So it just goes to show when it's to like when it comes down to like our history,
Hmm.
only person you ever hear of when it comes to Black community and everything like that normally is MLK.
Right.
As if MLK was the sole person that was fighting for empowerment of us.
But that's what I'm saying. Whose fault is that? That's not our fault.
That's education though.
But
That's
we can't. They have to want to fix that. That's my thing. Like
yeah.
that they have to like the whole shit that's coming out now talking about the critical race theory. We
Yeah.
shouldn't be teaching this in schools. Like they have to want to see us as human beings. All I can do is sit here and be a human being for the rest of my life. I could try to talk to them. I could try to say, hey, this is me. Like I'm a black man. And there's so many other black men and women out here that it don't matter. It don't matter who it is. Every other black man and woman is a human. Like period.
And critical race theory is pretty much saying the black people problems don't matter.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
Even more so.
they getting it conflated with teaching shit about like just the fact that slavery happened and like shit was bad and the country was built on racism. But
They
that's
never
not
taught the shit anyways.
they didn't.
That's
But
the thing.
that's not what critical race theory even is in the first place. But and this shows the state of this country that people are doing this. Like shit ain't changed.
Yeah, it's like these parents are like seeing their kids and they're looking at like their kids and be like, wait, we did this?
Right.
And then they're just like, there's so many white folks that like are just like, oh, everything's equal and they have more opportunities. Why don't you look at what's the school law and like people in the workplace where they have to give
Affirmative action.
affirmative action. Like white people
Yeah.
always point to affirmative action as us being equal.
They also hate it too, though. They also talk down on it, like, "Oh, you only got that because of affirmative action."
Yeah, and they'd be like, "Oh, my kids didn't have the money, or we didn't do that." It's just like they don't understand that they had a head start. Like they feel like as everything was equal, like there was a fair playing field amongst everyone. And why is that so? It's because the education says that. It does not. It's the lack of what it tells them. So when white people grow up and they're like they're looking at this in our history, they're just like, what are you talking about? MLK and everything, like he was talking about black people and white people being together. Like that happened. Like we're together. That's all they know.
LeBron James is a millionaire. Like, okay, that's one black
Yeah,
man.
it's like I see a black man like they're driving fancy cars and doing all this shit way more than me. Like that's all they see on social media, and that's what's popular. And like that's what. So they're looking at that, and they think that's everyone, and they think that's like a general conception. It's just like if you look at a fucking chart, you will see that white median household is way above any other fucking race. So what are you talking about?
It's been that. That's the thing. Like people don't care about numbers. Like the numbers have been that. Black
Yeah.
women have been disadvantaged in the workplace for their entire existence in this country. Like it's the numbers are there, but like I said, if people don't want to pay attention to the numbers, if people don't want to pay attention to the facts, how can we change shit?
It's because white folks don't want to be seen as equal. That's not what they want. They don't want to be equal.
But this shit wasn't designed for that though. You got to keep that in mind. This country was never designed for black people and white people to be equal. Period.
And I hate for this to seem like too black and white for the listeners and everything like that, but
I don't give a fuck. This is what it is. Like I feel like if you live here, you have to understand, because I need people to understand these things. Like I've tried to have these conversations with people that are not black. And they just don't understand. Like they barely even know.
because they don't want to.
They don't want to, and like you said, the education didn't really teach that. So it's like, they
thing is,
barely
like,
even know. Go ahead.
You can teach them and tell them these things and show them the numbers, and they'll still be like, well, but
Right. It's always a but. I know. I've had these conversations.
it just like that just says like they don't give a fuck. And they're not trying to learn, and they don't want to be equal. That's not the point. That's not like they don't care about none of it. They don't care about the shit you talking about. Like the Joe Rogan. Like he walk in the room and say like it feels like monkeys in here.
Right.
Like what are you talking about? Like he doesn't see them as equal.
Yes. But as I said, this shit wasn't designed like that. So it's just like, this is why on another episode I said like we should just blow this shit up and just start over, because the shit wasn't designed to be equitable for somebody that looked like me and you. Like, it just wasn't designed that way. That's just a fact. So like, how can we, if somebody has that mindset and that mindset has been passed down, like, what, either people got to die out and the mindset got to die, or they have to want to change their minds. It's either one of the two.
That's the thing. Like, people dying out and everything, the ideal is still being passed down from generation to generation. So there's always going to be people who have that same idea.
It's somebody saying some racist shit right now.
Oh, there's people at my job that I know saying racist shit.
Exactly.
And that believes, like, one of my supervisors, like, he says racist shit every other word about, like, how pretty much how his race is more superior. Like,
What race is he?
Indian.
Okay.
I don't want to get too deep into detail because, like, I don't want to point shit out, but it's just
And
like,
go ahead.
it's just like that I know that they look down at black people. Like, I feel it in the workplace. I feel it when I'm walking down the street and I see women walking to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it when I was in school, when I was in the classroom, and people, like, they don't want to communicate or they hold themselves back. Like, I feel it when I was, like, a kid that had friends of the different race, and I would try to go over to their house and their parents would look at me and, like, have a mean glare and say no, and then I wasn't able to hang out with them anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's happened to me in Middle Eastern Arab communities, like, kids what I hung out with, and then they just disappeared. Like, their parents they wouldn't allow that shit. I've seen it in the same opportunities of, like, Hispanic homes,
Mm-hmm.
where they wouldn't even let their kids hang out with me.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, they did a good job with this rhetoric. Like, they did a good job spreading it, because it's not even only just white people that believe it. It's everybody that's not black has the same mindset sometimes. And I don't want to say everybody, but we do know that there's people of every different race and ethnicity that look down on black people, period.
Yeah, they just think we're like the face of a bad example. Like, everything we believe in, everything we do just is like the worst thing, and, like, they're ignorant, and it's something that just shouldn't be, like, speaking to me. They shouldn't have thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me say this though, like, everybody that's not black that's listening, like, you have to understand that this shit hurts to have these conversations. And, like, when you're a human being, like, you wake up every day and look in the mirror and, like, know, like, I'm human too. But it's people out there that don't believe that. That's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow. Hard pill to swallow every day. And then especially knowing that you can't really do nothing to combat that. Like, it's just like, damn, like, what can we do? That's why some people give up. That's why I'm on the verge of, like, damn, I'm just gonna stop trying to even have these conversations with other people, because it's like, living as a black man for 28 years, like,
Yeah,
ain't shit changed.
and that's the reason why I feel like a lot of black people are just like, man, we gotta stop having these conversations in general. Like, why do we bring it up? Because we already know what it is, and that's sad.
It's sad, but I feel like it's because it's not our responsibility to make other people see us as human. It's not.
But it is our responsibility to take responsibility for our own community and bring us together.
This is true.
That is something our responsibility. We shouldn't be, like, looking at other cultures to bring us together.
This is true.
There should be, like, some entity or somewhere that does unify us. That's why I keep saying it's like, there should be a place that we can go to where it doesn't seem like it's ghetto or like, I ain't even okay. I'm gonna be 100 right here.
Keep it 100.
So this isn't everywhere. I'm not gonna speak for everyone, but okay. So Eventbrite and things like that. When I try to support black people and things like that, and things that are going on, maybe it's just the places that I went to. It always feels like it's of lower quality than when I go somewhere else. Okay, I'm gonna put an example even more deeper.
Okay.
I was in Oakland, California, and I wanted to support a black paint and sip. And I paid $100 for me and my girlfriend for a Valentine's Day thing, whatever. VIP. So that's what they called it. So we get there and everything. And everything seems cool. It's a nice building, everything, like it's nice and all that. They have vendors and everything like that. And then we get to the event and no one's there like helping you, direct you like what to do or what's going on or where you should sit. There's just like these like little tables with art tools and things of that stuff on the table and things of that nature. The event doesn't start till an hour and a half later than what was stated. That's one thing.
You should have known better with that.
The VIP came with a bottle of wine or something like that.
Yeah.
Bottle of wine and champagne. It was the most cheapest bottle of wine and champagne ever. And the shit on there said that it doesn't even have like pretty much any content. It was pretty much like juice. It was some shit you probably can grab for $5 or something.
Mm-hmm.
The plastic things or the glasses or whatever they got that like they had a pack of that dollar store shit that they were handing people. I'm like, and then like when we started the event, they stopped every 30 minutes and had a break. Like, and then they told us to pull up what we were painting on Instagram so we can get an idea.
Wow.
It's just like when it just leaves a bad taste. Like when you're trying to support the black community, things of that nature and things of that, stop being cheap. Like if you tell someone it's a VIP, they respect VIP. I don't know. It's just like.
But the thing is, when you do that, when you criticize and be like, nah, this shit wasn't up to par what I expected, then you look like you shitting on the black community. That's where we hit a wall. Is like, how can we? People ain't ever gonna improve shit if people can't take criticism. You know what I mean? So it's
like you can tell like the people who was hosting this shit, they were pocketing everything, like all the money, and like they spent probably about $10 a person. Damn. And they were charging $100.
They're trying to get their money up.
Like that's what I mean. It's like when people create these like these non-profits and things of that nature, and people are just taking advantage. That's the issue. We gotta hold people accountable. Stop trying to like squeeze every single cent that you can out of people for your own improvement in your own game.
I mean, I agree, but shit.
It makes the black business like the idea of it's like that's why nobody wants to do it. And like while we're going to these white brands and shit, and like it's like almost like you'd be like, how can you blame them?
But once again, they had a head start. You got to look at it in the whole though. They had a head start with their business. Like that paint and sip probably been around for like 5 years tops. Nike been around since damn near over 100 years. You know what I mean? So you can't expect shit to be. I understand where you're coming from, but I feel like we got to give people leeway because, like you said, people have had a head start. And
if that's how you feel, don't charge those prices. Charge what it's worth. Don't call it a VIP thing. Don't say it's something like that. Bottle service or whatever y'all people be like, whatever we go to. Treat it as like what you want. Like, would you think like going to something like that is like you wouldn't want that?
Nah, they definitely wouldn't.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I gotta get out of here. Like I'm ready to go.
You ain't read the reviews?
That's the thing. Black people, I feel like their shit tend to be ranked a little bit lower than everyone else.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things where I feel like you gotta go and see for yourself.
Yeah.
And just give some things like the benefit of the doubt. And that was one of those moments where I was just like, sure. I mean, like I'm not gonna say like I did enjoy. Like I'm gonna say I'm gonna not stop being so negative. I enjoyed it being around people of my race and my culture, and the music and everything that was played was good. I liked the vendors and everything. The food was smooth, even though the chicken was a bit red.
Mm,
So, man, y'all gotta stop that.
that's a party foul.
Yeah, exactly. And but they had like some good like snacks and things of that nature and vendors going on there. So I mean, I did enjoy that. But those things that you have to pay for extra, it wasn't a part of the package. It was just other people who the host they brought in to be other vendors during their event.
Mm,
And that's kind of like I feel like what all the breaks was for, because they wanted people to get up and go to the vendors and go
right.
buy more stuff and buy drinks and that. So they were just breaking and breaking and breaking. Like a paint and sip, it shouldn't be from 5 to 10 p.m.
Nah.
Like it just doesn't make sense. Like it was weird. It was people walked in about 3 hours late, like asking for supplies and shit. I'm like, oh, they must have been here before,
Mm,
because like,
they knew.
yeah, I'm like, who? Like this shit should be pretty much over. I'm like, that's weird. It's like, why are you still walking in here saying, oh, where are my supplies and everything? It's like this. The event already started hours ago. It was like, man,
So like, how we gonna wrap this up though? Like, I feel like we done said a lot of negative. So let's end on a positive note somehow. Shit, I don't even know what's positive because, like I said, no, we gotta end on a positive note. Um, I think that let me go back. Let me go back to what you said. You said that the median household is gonna by 2053 is gonna be near $0. That's negative. Um, it's not really. And that's the thing. It's not. It's hard to see positives in this shit when you see stats like that. Like that's crazy to me.
when
Like,
studies are being done and then they see like the trend, it's like, what hope are you trying to bring here?
I don't know. And
What
what?
what good is there to say? Unless we change ourselves and our own habits, that's the number we're going to.
Yeah,
That's the end of the story. Like
I still feel like it's not all on us though.
it is on us.
It's not all on us.
It's us to give like good quality and come together and unify. Invest in ourselves more. Not you don't have to completely do it, but it's still like we gotta give good product and good quality things and charge things what they're worth, like what we think they're like value. Like we give people an opportunity to want to invest in what you have. And that's
Okay.
kind of like what I was kind of leading to with the paint and sip or whatever. I may have went on a little bit of a rant, but if you have good quality, like I will consistently go back.
Mm-hmm.
Me going to that, I would never go there again.
Damn.
That's kind of my point.
Motherfuckers was in there though.
Yeah, I guarantee they won't be coming back.
I don't know. You never know. Some people might be cool with that. Some people might not even looked at it the way you did. But
Man,
we'll
we
never
were
know
sitting
unless
next
we
to
ask them.
people and stuff like that, and they had the same kind of feelings that we did.
Oh, for real?
Like people started painting their own pictures. Like a lady was in there, like she painting something completely different. She just like, I'm gonna start. I like after an hour, she just started painting whatever. She painted a ladybug that was on a fucking plant, like in the grass, just chilling, just drinking her wine. Like she was done with it, and then she left. Like once she was done with her painting.
Yeah. I mean, really, you fucked up going to a paint and sip in the first place.
I've been to really great paint and sips.
I would never. That's not my style, though.
I've went to like amazing paint and sips with my girl and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh,
That
that's the
were
thing.
ran
Date night.
awesomely, and they do step by step. They show the whole process, and they go around and they check on you and like how it should be done. Like so, it's like I've seen how it should be done, and I know how it should not be done. And I know like if I'm paying VIP, like don't give me this like the same table as everyone else and give me little plastic cups with some $5 bottle of wine.
Mm-hmm.
Like don't play me that way. Like it's like I don't know. It kind of plays on your intelligence a little bit. It's like so you this is what you that's what you're doing.
They try to finesse.
Yeah, it's like you finesse me off of like my kind will to be like, oh, I'm gonna pay top dollar for this because that's what I believe in your event, what you can do.
Hmm. Well, in conclusion, if you guys have the means to support black businesses, continue to support. Don't let Rod's experience deter you from that. Like, continue to support because, like you said, I guess we do need to, I guess, be more in the community. I guess
Take accountability and
Yeah,
point out people who are doing bullshit. Let them know. Like
yeah.
it's not right. Like it doesn't make sense. Don't try to like make $1 off of black people paying.
For black, that's not.
That's what you're doing.
It's off of black people paying. How they were just trying to make $1. I don't know if it was off of pain.
Man, it was painful being there in that event.
Right. Yeah. Sound like it.
I was telling it like we left early too. I was like, man, we gotta go. I'm going back to the white community.
See there.
We gotta go.
See there though.
Yes.
Nah.
Absolutely.
No. See, that's the thing. That's the
They
problem.
got
No,
standards over there. Like,
man.
like I just
Yeah.
don't get it.
Shit, man.
It's like people hate. I don't know. It's like I guess I'm on both sides of the fence sometimes.
No, because like I said, like when you say that, that's what it starts sounding like anti-black. Like, nah, like black businesses don't be. Sometimes they don't be hitting like they need to, but then just like sometimes they
No,
don't be hitting like they need to. Sometimes
yeah, it's just like it's
there's
just
plenty of good ones.
holding people accountable. Yeah, there's plenty of good ones.
Like it's a new bag out here that everybody really likes, called the Telfar. You probably seen people with it. Like I know, like in New York, it's pretty big. It got like the T on it. That's a black-owned company, by a young black guy, I think. So like, it's definitely things out here that's dope and worth going to support for sure. But
Maybe I got to go to Atlanta or something.
yeah, it sounds like you just caught like a bad experience, to be
Yeah,
honest.
because
Like,
like in Oakland, California, that event was not it.
yeah,
And yeah, y'all got to fix that. Man, they put me on their social media. They had my face and all that on there. Like it was a great event. Like you don't understand how irritating that was.
damn,
What?
damn, that's wild.
It's like, man, you use my likeness for like this event that was not good. So, anyways, let's go ahead and head into the game here.
All right,
And this segment here is called You Wild. Pretty much a spin-off of Would You Rather questions. And we only got a few here. And then we'll head into the outro and the highlights and what we got going on. And things that we want to highlight. So support black business.
please.
That's what I want to say. And hold people accountable. And give your best product.
Yeah,
And when we need a more organization that we need to be organized and unified somehow. I don't have all the answers.
I definitely don't.
The listeners, you probably don't have all the answers, but some answers need to be found soon before like this article that I'm reading that our median wealth goes to 0 by 2053. And we'll put that article at the bottom. But the question here, would you rather have a lady with an ass or titties?
I mean, you know my answer. I've been saying this for years.
I know that's a wild transition.
It is, but you know my answer. Like I love boobs. I've been loving boobs for like a long time. So like, ass is nice though. Ass is cool. Like like I don't want to get too graphic, but like ass is cool. But like I just love titties for some reason. Can you even speak on this? Cause you definitely can. You speak on this?
Yeah, I can speak on it.
All right, speak on it then.
I mean, for me, I like both.
No,
I'm
but
not
you
a.
no. Would you rather?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't have a would you rather. I like both.
Nigga, that's
That's
not
the
the point of the
thing.
game. You gotta say one. You gotta say one or the other. If you had to choose.
I don't know. That's the thing. It's just like, man, I like both. Man, I love women, and what they decide to do with their body is their choice.
That's a good answer.
So
This nigga
let's
with the
move.
safe answer. The
Like,
safe answer. You try to set me up, trying to make a decision. I'm gonna make a decision though, because I don't care. I'm just saying what I like. I like many things, but what I really like is titties. But ass is cool at the same time. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But you over here with the safe answer talking about women can do whatever they want with their bodies, and like I understand though, I understand. But yeah, let's move on to the next one.
So would you rather live in the U.S. or overseas? And I feel like this kind of leads into like a question of like happiness and
Hmm.
like life and everything. And so I
Um,
don't,
what
is life fair?
for the rest of our life, for the rest of my life, or just like in general?
Whatever you want to say.
I mean, I feel like I would love to live overseas. Like, I would love to live on every continent if possible. That would be great. Like, if I could really, that would be dope if I could really like move from continent to continent for the rest of my life.
In Russia?
Um, I didn't say Russia, but I don't even know. I don't even know where in Europe I would be accepted, like as a human being, as a black man. So I don't even know if I'm gonna go to Europe. Asia might be shaky sometimes too, but
Oh, that's gonna
um,
be the worst.
Asia.
They're gonna look like at you like you're a celebrity.
But that's better than looking at me like I'm a dog or a monkey, you know. But you just talking about specifically like China or Japan, like where they barely see black people, and when they do is like Shaquille O'Neal or like
Hmm.
fucking LeBron or some shit.
Like if I go someplace, don't call me a fucking athlete.
Please don't.
Like I don't know why that like that's not a sign of respect at all. So
It's not. Yeah,
that's
no.
just saying that that's what you believe my race and that's all we're capable of. That's how I take it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. They did a good job with this conditioning, 'cause that shit spread across across the waters. You know what I mean? But how do you feel? Do you feel like you would rather live in the U.S. or the overseas for the rest of your life?
Um, I feel like if I was able to go with my family and also in another condition that we were living well off, so it wasn't struggling for anything.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to be a person that's struggling in a country that's in poverty. That's awful. So I would live in a different country if I did have the means
mm-hmm.
and I was able to wake up every morning to the water and the ocean, the sand, the beach, and my family was nearby.
Yeah.
So
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Yeah, for me, I feel like it's not even about like I don't think I mind. I don't mind like living like struggling. It can't be like the super struggle, but like I don't mind that. I don't mind going somewhere and like getting shit out the mud and living like a common folk. Like that's I feel like that's part of life. It would be. I feel like it would be dope just for like learning experiences. Like, oh, this how they do it over here. Like this how it is to be a common person.
yeah,
And
I'm not doing that every day though.
I feel that.
Going out
Yeah.
fishing and hunting.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, that would be dope.
No,
It could be
not
dope to
just
learn.
not just going to a store and just picking up my stuff and coming back home.
Yeah. Yeah. It just depends on what you want to do with your life and shit like that. You know. But last one we have: would you rather have cable or streaming services?
I feel like this question here, it depends what generation you're from. Probably when you hear this question, I feel
Yeah.
like majority of people from our generation and afterwards, people don't have cable no more.
Nope.
People are not paying cable bills, and people from our generation know how to find stuff online that we want to see,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's sports or anything, without paying a single dime.
Yep.
So I think that's also probably what led to how internet is so expensive now,
Possibly.
and these high speeds that they claim or whatever like that. Just like I don't know, it all seems similar to me.
But you ain't answer the question. Would you rather have cable or streaming service?
Oh, I'm gonna go with streaming services.
Okay.
Like, there's nothing I want to see on cable that I can't see on the streaming service. So
Yeah. I feel like I don't need either one. Like I don't even watch TV. I don't remember the last time I sat down and watched TV for real, unless it was like a game. But like you said, you can. I know the sites. Like if you get on, no, I don't even want to shout them out. 'Cause I don't want to blow the spot up. But there's some sites on there, on the internet. You can find anything on the internet, bro. Like anything that you fucking want to. So but if I had to choose, I'm gonna say probably streaming services because they post new shit, original series and shit like that. That might be cool.
so you don't
Which
have a Netflix or Hulu or any of that.
nah, I don't have none of that. I never watch TV. Like only time I watch TV is if it's just on. Like I just have it on for background noise. I'll be on YouTube.
So that's there you have it, folks. This episode here was a bit different. We know, it's a bit different music. So let us know what you think. This was more personal, I believe, that we were just getting more into our own ideas and our thoughts.
Hmm.
And we're gonna have probably a few more episodes go along the way, like multiple. Well, I'm not gonna say a few, but multiple episodes along the way that
Yeah,
are like this. And I guess we'll probably put like a little disclaimer at the bottom, like just letting you know, like this is a personal view, and our views don't match everyone's. So
yeah. They should know that.
yeah, this is just our thoughts. So
Yeah. If you offended, I don't really care.
I don't care either.
I still want you to listen, but like and see, and it's the thing. Like if you feel some type of way, interact. Let us know. Let us know if we was wilding or not. You know what I mean? Like let us know why you feel that way, and we can have a conversation. 'Cause that's what it's all about, having a conversation.
Yeah, if me at the paint shop triggered you, me and the paint sip, like let me know.
Right.
And the people, like if you was there, let the people know. Like you ain't like that.
That's it.
I was there. You was there. We seen it.
Hmm. Right.
So all right, like well, let's go ahead and get to the highlights.
All right. Yo, go ahead.
For people who are fans of anime and things of that nature, one of the best animes that been out of all time, I will say, is Attack on Titan. Their final season is going on, and the season's been amazing. Like this is the final one, and it's always something different or something you didn't necessarily expect. At least for me, anyways, when I'm watching it, and the graphics, and it takes them years to put out each season. So yeah, this final season, if you want to check it out, check that out. And also, there's this show that's on Hulu called, which is like a black show, Grand Crew. And
Okay.
basically, this show is about black people who are in the job force and our friends and stuff like that, working and stuff like that. And it's not the typical always dealing with what's wrong and blah 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 like that. It's just like it kind of proves that black people are all around the board. We like a multitude of things. It's not the typical um, things that you would normally see. I don't want to point it out, but I just want people to go and watch it and check it out.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a little comedy show. Like it's only about 20 minutes an episode, so it's not too bad. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, man. Definitely check that shit out and let us know what you guys think. Me, man, I'm just gonna keep it simple, man. Keep it simple here and just say shout out to the one and only Gucci Mane. He came back with a new single. He was actually kind of coming at NBA YoungBoy because NBA YoungBoy said some shit on him or shit about him on one of his recent songs. So
Yeah, he
I
dissed
really,
everyone. I hate Young
yeah,
Boy.
yeah, yep, that one too.
That shit got hella views.
It did. I mean, a lot of his shit just be his views are like ridiculous. Like he gonna hit a million pretty much every time he come out. So
Nah, that shit was like 16 million.
for real,
Last time I looked.
damn. But yeah, shout out to Gucci Mane. He just dropped Publicity Stunt. Go listen to that. He was kind of he sounded a little bit hungrier than he has in the past couple of years to me. So definitely check out Publicity Stunt by Gucci Mane. And also Boosie actually responded to NBA YoungBoy as well. His shit was called "I Don't Call Phones, I Call Shots."
Yeah, he was going crazy.
Yeah, he was. He kind of signed. He was kind of back to his old. Like I
Yeah,
feel like YoungBoy kind of made them want to get back in their bag because they see YoungBoy in his
yeah.
bag.
Young boy did it better.
Yeah, I mean, shit, man. So
When young boy's like getting that many views and he has that much effect on social media and like the content people engaging,
yeah,
it's like it's almost to a point where you can't ignore him.
yeah, that's exactly what
Like
I was gonna
his
say.
fan base is so large. Like if you don't say nothing, they're gonna be like, he killed your ass.
You're right, exactly. And I feel like young boy. I mean, with Boosie specifically, young boy got Boosie number. Like he could have called, bro, like and said, "This how I'm feeling. Like you don't. I feel like you don't fuck with me or whatever." He said. Like he could have said that, but it does make for good music. I just hope don't nobody get hurt. Everybody keep the shit on wax, please, please, please. We need y'all out here, man.
To be real, I was like, man, they sound alike.
Who? Oh yeah, cause they both from
Boosie and
Louisiana.
NBA YoungBoy. I was like, man, I'm listening to the same artist.
They both from Louisiana though. That's the thing. Like you can't deny that the influence from Boosie and YoungBoy. Like Boosie was the only one like from their area. Like yeah, you have New Orleans, but then you got Shreveport from where Boosie from, and you got Baton Rouge where YoungBoy from. So it's like that influence is you can't deny it.
All right, so there you have it, folks. We're back with another episode of the Friends Podcast. Check us out. Subscribe to all our, we're everywhere pretty much. Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, Google, YouTube. We'll post a link tree down below the link so you can check us out. And make sure you subscribe and follow our pages. Thank you. And peace.
Yeah, man. Thank you for listening. Peace out.